Hello, this is Carmel from Living and Leading from the Heart, and welcome to another installment of Cappuccino with Carmel, where we highlight individuals living with passion, on purpose, and in contribution. And it is my great honor and privilege to share with you some beautiful souls in the world who are transforming lives. From One World Academy in India, we have with us Purnima Ji. Thank you so much for being with us. And Sanjiv, Beri, and Debra Warshaw, my friends from New York City. Thank you for being with us, who are also have experienced this beautiful, beautiful journey that I couldn't help but share with you. Back in January, I was privileged enough to attend a workshop, a weekend workshop called Being Limitless. It was in New York City. And to tell you that my life has not been the same since then, and I have a whole new relationship with not just meditation, but with life itself. That's why I'm here today, to share how that can happen to you too, because it's just too beautiful not to share. So, Purnima Ji, thank you, first of all. I know the hours are different in India. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. And for people who have not yet heard of One World Academy, or most importantly, Being Limitless, what does limitless, what does it mean really to be limitless? Maybe you could share with that.
Thank you, Carmel, for that beautiful introduction. So limitless is a state of being. It's a state of consciousness. It's a way you can feel within and experience life. So when you feel limitless, when you live and experience this limitless consciousness, that's how we term it at One World Academy. It is a feeling of vastness, to feel that you are infinite and vast, and you are connected to all the rest of the universe. You're not separate from the universe around you, the world around you, life around you, and you feel a part of everything. You know, part of your own family, part of this large community of humanity there around you, part of life around you. So it's an experience that you feel within yourself. And from this state of being, when you live life from this inner state of being, then you're able to create a beautiful external reality where life outside also turns out to be one that is abundant and beautiful. So you're able to create an extraordinary external reality from this extraordinary consciousness. So that's what is being limitless.
That sounds beautiful. And I imagine, at least here in New York City and around the world, so many of us are living in limited states, right? And so why is it so important for them to not live in that limited state?
Yes, because it's very important that we don't live life feeling limited within. And what happens? What is that feeling limited? What is that feeling like? It's when you feel separate from everything. You feel isolated. You feel lonely and disconnected. You feel unhappy. You're stuck in destructive emotional states like fear, anxiety, anger, frustration. So that state of being is called a limited state. And when you experience life that way, then all that you create outside becomes very limited. Because from a limited state, you can only create a limited experience, your achievements, your success, the way you experience your body, the health and the beauty that you create in your physical appearance. Everything becomes very limited. Your relationships become very limited. So there's a wall between you and the other. So it creates a very constricting experience of life. So that is why you need to become free within and become limitless within. So there's infinite possibilities outside.
Which almost feels like soaring. When you speak about limitless, I feel like this feeling of soaring, and I feel like, I know you've even spoken about it, this distinction between mediocre life and extraordinary life. And so many of us, I feel like, think this is the limit, and we don't even know what the possibility of the limit really is, that there is none. Is that
Yes.
Is that the experience? And
Absolutely, absolutely. There is no end to this beauty that you can experience within, and from there create a beautiful world outside. All of us want that. All of us are looking for a beautiful world. So, yes.
And how does that play into the distinction between a beautiful state and suffering? How does that play into that as well? I've heard that spoken about.
Yes. See, when you feel limited, you are suffering within. And what is suffering? No? Suffering is a state where you feel unhappy within. You feel you're stuck. It's like many times you feel that you're playing the same track in your head. You feel you're stuck in your head. The same trail of thoughts going backwards and forwards, the same line of thinking. You're stuck in one unpleasant emotion to another. You keep jumping out of one unpleasant state to another unpleasant state. That's a state of suffering. And in this state of suffering, you feel very uncomfortable with yourself. Deeply deep within yourself, you feel like you're not comfortable in your own skin. You feel discomfort with what you are, who you are, the way you're feeling within. And you feel uncomfortable with people around you because you're not comfortable with yourself. So you feel alienated from people around you. And in this state, it's like you're dead to life. You can't enjoy anything. You may have the most exotic vacation. You may have the most luxurious car. You may have everything, but you don't have the capacity to experience and enjoy life because you're dead within. So you're merely existing. You're merely moving from one task to another. That's the state of suffering. And that's a very limiting state. Yes. And a beautiful state is where you're happy, you're joyful. And in this joyful state, love, peace, compassion, everything is natural to you. You're naturally in that. You're not trying to cultivate that, but you're naturally there. And you're alive to life, every impulse of life, which turns every ordinary moment into extraordinary experience. Even ordinary experience like walking, taking your dog for a walk, just walking on the pavement, cycling, everything becomes extraordinary. And so it's a deep sense of comfort you feel in your being. And you feel like you're comfortable with everyone, even strangers. You feel like you're a friend to everyone, friend of the world, you can say. So it's a very beautiful place to live your life from. Yeah.
It is possible. And that's what we're here to share, because it really sounds like how life is meant to live. And then we realize there's so many out there listening now who can check in with themselves, look at themselves in the mirror and know that they're not living that way. And that's why we're here to show them what's possible and how they can begin that journey towards that. Yeah. And so the work that you do at One World Academy, maybe you could explain what is One World Academy, and then we can talk a little bit about this Being Limitless Workshop, which is the first place someone can start, where Debra and I started, just the beautiful place to start. So would you explain that?
Yes, absolutely, Carmel. One World Academy is a wisdom school for enlightenment, for a beautiful consciousness. To us, living life in a beautiful consciousness is enlightened way of living. And it's founded by enlightened spiritual teachers, and they are world teachers, and they are the founders of One World Academy, Krishna Ji and Preeta Ji. Now, our focus at One World Academy is to help every individual free themselves of suffering, every form of suffering. So we are not bound to this inferior consciousness, this inferior way of living life, where we are stuck in our thinking, where we are all the time obsessed with ourselves. We live life from, like you said, to live life from a very sad state, depressed state, unpleasant state. This is an inferior way of living life. And to open the doors to the possibility of living an extraordinary life from an extraordinary consciousness. And when you live life this way, then you emerge into a presence that is so powerful that you can impact life around you. You're no more this helpless, hapless victim of situations. You emerge into a presence that can transform life circumstances around, create great synchronicities, beautiful circumstances, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones as well. You know, you'll be able to turn life around for people that you love and care for. Isn't that a beautiful gift? You know, all of us want to do that. We want to wipe away suffering from the faces of those that we love. And you get the power to do that when you yourself live from this extraordinary state. So that is the vision, to help individuals emerge into that powerful presence, a phenomenon.
That is so beautiful. And I know for so many, you know, they could be listening to this and say, I want to jump on a plane right now and go to India and just begin my journey. And that's not always possible. And so I think I express not only my own personal gratitude, but for many others who have experienced the Being Limitless Workshop in New York. And, you know, Sanjiv has worked so hard to help coordinate that in America. And maybe Sanjiv can explain now that there's this huge opportunity to experience it in our own country here in the United States. We can always go to India for the next level and all of that, but to be able to just hop on a plane and live in this beautiful state. And I love what you say about the way it impacts others, because it's not just we're doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for not only our family and our friends, but our whole world. And it's a beautiful ripple effect. So maybe, Sanjiv, you would like to explain a little bit about just what is happening in August in Miami and, you know, a little, because you've been so involved in creating these opportunities for people here. Would you like to share that?
Yes, thank you very much. So we wanted to bring all these events. So it all started with the first one in New York, which was the beginning of the year. And then we've slowly grown and identified all the key locations in the United States and Canada as well, where we think we can bring in the audience and bring all these teachings to the people in all these different locations. So in the beginning, as I said, New York was the first one. We had no idea that there's going to be another one that soon, but Atlanta just followed less than a month away, and we were able to put together a large group of people. So we got lots of them exposed to this, and then of course it just had a ripple effect, and it started to reach out, and people were asking for more and more and more. So we identified few other locations, and now we are going to the most popular location in Miami, where everyone is so looking forward to. We have so many people who are registering their friends and family. And also, this is great opportunity for people to just come there. It's also a beautiful venue. Besides, it's the perfect time of the year to be there. And so I would really encourage every one of you to come and attend this beautiful event and experience this limitlessness and also the beautiful state of being. This is what was the biggest takeaway for me, and I'm sure it's going to be for everyone else. So my other suggestion would be that if you haven't yet registered, you must do so, because we have limited space in the hotel, as well as also the capacity of the room where we are able to put everyone together. So you should not hesitate to register as quickly as possible. Debra has been very kind to help out in this, and in fact she's really the lead in getting everything together and putting the event together. So I'm my deep gratitude to Debra for helping out and also putting this as a very magnificent event going forward. So that's my message.
Thank you, Sanjiv. And we will put all those details below. It is August 5th to 7th in Miami. And I do want to hear from Debra about her experience. But I want to ask first, Purnima Ji, if you could tell us what happens in a Being Limitless workshop. What can one expect to experience. You know, I must share, and there may be people out there, I hadn't really had my own meditation practice. I didn't come from that world. I was actually quite intimidated or frightened at the thought of being a whole weekend in meditation. I can't even sit still for 10 minutes. How am I going to do that? And yet I was able. So if you want to share a little bit about just what that weekend, what does Being Limitless look like, and what's the experience?
Yes. Being Limitless is like a 2.5-day event. So it has a combination of several factors coming together. It's not just meditation. Meditation is one component. So I'll describe the various parts that comes together. And together it all culminates in the individual emerging into that consciousness. So each of this contributes to that process. So the first is what we call as the jnana, or the spiritual wisdom, liberative wisdom, where we'll be teaching 4 important principles that can completely turn your life around. So that is the first component. The second component is what we call as shodhana, or the detox meditations. So these are beautifully designed meditations. They're designed by Preeta Ji, the co-founder of One World Academy. And these meditations are meant to prepare your body, mind, and consciousness to move into this beautiful state. So that's the purpose of these meditations. And it's a beautiful experience. You'll relax and enjoy these meditations. And the third component is what we call as the kshetra, or these are those special moments you will have where one of the founders from the academy would be coming online and meditating, and you will enter this field of consciousness with the founders. So they'll be meditating with you and impacting you and leading you onwards into this journey. So that is a very beautiful component. You'll get to interact with them, listen to their wisdom also. That will be a major component. And then the fourth is called the prakriya, which is a deep spiritual journey. It's an inward journey the faculty would be leading you into, where you will actually experience the state of limitlessness that we are talking about. This is where people feel this, that they are connected to everything. So, and then we have the last part, which is sadhana, where we will lead you through meditations and also give you those meditations to take it back home, so you're able to nurture this beautiful consciousness each and every day of your life. Mm-hmm. So these are the various components. It's a combination that happens in these 2.5 days.
Right. Thank you so much. And I think the best way to actually pair that is with the description of it, but what's so powerful is the experience. And I know Debra had such a powerful experience, as did I, on the weekend. And Debra, if you just want to share what that meant to you, how you're different now, how you're utilizing it, what was it for you? Oh, I think we can hear you. Let me just, okay.
That was me, I muted myself, sorry.
That's okay.
New York City background noise. Yeah, thank you for all that. And I, everything that was said, I agree with 100%. And for me, I think I did have a meditation practice. However, what was different about this was the combination of the guided meditations, the energy in the room, all those people you're surrounded by that are there for the same soul, opening their hearts, connecting, and the wisdom teachings that were offered, and the way Ananda Giriji offers it, and his way, and everything. It's the whole package. It's not like you can just pick out one detail, but the whole package was so filled with so much love and power and energy, and the energy was so I don't even know how to describe it, except that for me what happened was it opened me up, it cracked me wide open in such a way that the connection that happened for me was with myself. That was what I needed to really take it to the next level for feeling limitless. I think that was the missing piece. It's just that, if you're already on the path, this could be like the thing that pushes you over the edge, and you just things just start clicking. And if you're new to meditation like you were, then it's like this wow, like eye-opening experience into the world of meditation, which everyone, I mean, you'd have to be living in a cave to not now know the power of meditation and the health benefits in life. People, it's pretty a well-known fact nowadays. So that was what it was for me. It was just this real cracked me wide open, and everything that Anandagiri shared and everything just poured into me and allowed me to feel just so connected to myself, which then allows me, of course, to connect out to everyone else. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you join us in Miami. It's going to be probably the most special one of all that they've had for a whole bunch of reasons we can't really say. We'll have some special guests, and I'll leave it at that.
Right. Thank you so much. I can see it. Your whole face just radiates even from it. And that's, I think the beauty of this is that it goes on and on. It's eternal, because what we got there, not only are we given the soul sync meditation to adopt into our daily life, but we are connected now to a community of like-minded people who, yes, who are living with open hearts and are incorporating these teachings, this wisdom and these meditations every day. And I know my life is just bigger. It's limitless, even in just its scope. So Purnima Ji, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. I don't know if there's anything else you want to leave us with. Sanjiv, thank you so much for being so instrumental in making these happen in New York, and for all of you for being on here so that I can share this with my community. But if there's anything you'd like to say, Purnima Ji, or any kind of wisdom you'd like to leave us with, or meditation, whatever, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Carmel. I think a last thing that I want to leave everyone with is take a moment and take a moment, a quiet moment, sit by yourself whenever you want to do that, and reflect on your life, and just for a moment connect to yourself and see what is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. And you would come upon that realization yourself in your heart, that the greatest gift that you can give yourself is living in a beautiful state of peace and joy. And that gift only you can give yourself. No one can give it to you, even though they may love you so much. They can give things, but nobody can give this gift of joy and peace. And if that's very clear, then you have your vision for your life, and then follow the path, follow your heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.